from 10 years to 18 years. They are kids. So how I manage them? So the problem here is it's a residential academy. Uh, Players are experiencing of homesickness first of all, and then they are worried about their performance, and then they are worried about their position, what they can't able to adapt during that training session, and also mobile phones, and then they don't have a close person to discuss their emotions or whatever it may be. We are there, but as a coach perspective, we will be giving a training model, and we are motivating through the game level, but we are not ending up with them personally. So we have a warden, so warden will be guiding them to like a jail. I think it's kind of jail. The bell rang, they have to come for a lunch or dinner, or they have to get up. So during that time, so how they share their experience or emotional, what they are thinking. So that is also the problem. So, but they won't sleep as soon as possible. So what I thought, யாரெல்லாம் நைட்டு தூங்கும்போது புக்கு படிப்பீங்க? How many of you will read book before going to bed, during the bed time? To be honest, I think so. One. Okay. So நம்ம படிச்ச உடனே ஏன் நம்மளுக்கு தூக்கம் வருது? So what happens in physiologically? We won't get bored while using a mobile phone. So we have a Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, then WhatsApp, then YouTube. So we will be keep on skipping. If we bored, we'll skip, and if we bored, we'll skip into. It will be circulated. After a few hours, if we look into that, the time is almost 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. So at the time, we'll get tired. So during that light stimulus, our retino-hypothalamic tract is receiving sensory inputs, and then it's sends to suprachiasmatic nucleus, and it reduces the melatonin secretion from the pineal gland. So this what is happening. So what I have done there, I have done, because they are kids, they have to study. So my evening training session will ends by 6 or 6:30. So we won't disturb athletes for 1 hour. So you guys do whatever you want. And also during that 2018-19, the famous game called PUBG. So everybody are very excited to play that game. I want to win that game. So how many kills they are having? They will be like a soldier kind of thing. And it's very hard to win them from that behavior. And what we done, after training, we'll leave them freely for 1 hour or 1.5 hours. After that, dinner will be prepared, so they have to intake of dinner. After that, we started them to reading. So in day classes, what they have been taught, they have to do some homework or they have to read. So the guys automatically will fall into sleep. So that is the thing. It helped me a lot for our kids. But I don't know about above 18 years or 20 years of professional athletes. So I think if they are disciplined, they will be improved in their performance and their recovery. So this is what early morning session. If we have an early morning session, so we will sleep late. So that will also disturb in our sleep cycle. And then daytime napping. So pagala nalla thoongitona night avlo sikirathula thookam varadu. But it also there is some evidence. So we have to sleep early before 4 or 3 o'clock. And then using electronic devices and match related or training related outcomes. So they are not performing their improving their performance, those kind of things. So what disturbs melatonin cycle? So this is what I have been telling. It will okay, fine, I'll come to this later. So we need to know the stages of sleep. Okay, I'll ask you another question. After going to bed, if you guys forgot to switch off the light, will you deliberately go and off the light, or will ask somebody to switch off that light? Second option, yeah. So why we can't do that? So because our brain thinks, okay, this is the time I'm going to take relax. So sleep has a two stages, non-rapid eye movement sleep and rapid eye movement sleep. So non-rapid eye movement sleep has a three stages. In that first stage, we're going to wake to sleep. It's a transition stage, 5 to 10 minutes it consists of. During that phase, நம்ம class எடுக்கும்போது கூட நம்மள அறியாமையே தூங்கி இருப்போம். But if we slept for 2 to 3 minutes, it likes like a 1 hour or 2 hours. So in that 5 minutes, ரொம்ப சூப்பரா இருக்கும். We'll be fresh. It's kind of power nap thing. So on the wakefulness, we are going to fall asleep. It was happen in the first stage. So easier on the top, if we heard some other noise or disturbance, we will be. I think we are experienced this kind of situation. I think so. After we are going to bed, we are settled to sleep, and then only mom or anybody will come, switch on the light, and then doing some other changing the dress or whatever it maybe. So that disturbs you. At the time, we'll get like a hanger like that. So we'll shout at them. So in this stage, our sleep also disturbs. If it disturbs, it takes time to generate a cycle. So in that second stage of sleep, after the 20 minutes, our body temperature and heart rate and it starts to drop in that second stage of sleep. In the third stage of sleep, muscle started to relax and blood pressure and respiratory rates will be started to drop. So we'll be into the deep sleep. After this, the second part of the sleep is rapid eye movement. So here is the actual sleep. Our memory also plays a role, what we have learned in earlier thing. There is the plastic changes will happen. So during that very relaxed and we will be more active and our ocular muscles will be very active. So during that sleep and our body will be very tightened. And the time la dream will experience a dream. So how many of you got dream yesterday's night? No. Okay, fine. So you got fine, good.
Everybody gets paid.
Yeah, that is the thing. So this is what will happen in the rapid eye movement. And the effect what we get, so our memory will improve, reduce our mental stress or mental fatigue, and it will regulate the glucose metabolism in our body and improve synaptic hemostasis, it is called a neural plasticity, and improve our immune inflammatory response and also tissue repair. So I'm just going to focus on tissue repair, how it influences the sleep. So tissue repair, we required a growth hormone. So the growth hormone, how it will be released from our hypothalamus. So it will, okay, I'll go to. So from that hypothalamus, we have a growth hormone releasing hormone. It will stimulate the anterior pituitary. From that growth hormone, so it converts through liver. So we'll releasing of interleukin, insulin growth like hormone that will release tissue repair. We have a more biological molecular process, adaptation in mitochondrial region and oxidative adaptation will occur. So there the tissue repair it happens during that if growth hormone only if it has been released. So this is the thing. So tissue repair is. So during the early stage, so of sleep will be our brain will release a growth hormone and also prolactin for feeding a infant. So after we got up, so the cortisol and epinephrine, non-epinephrine, it will be started. When we are rushed to, when we are late. So it's kind of a stimulus. We have a commitment to come here today morning. So most of them will be late today. So we experience the stress. Okay, we have to go within a time. So that is also stress. After we started doing any other work, our cortisol and catecholamines will be released. So when we stick with an activity, so our body releases hormones. It's called cortisol and catecholamines. So what reduces the sleep? So just think about what we are using mobile phones. Okay, if you guys are tired, you enjoyed a lot. You guys every day you have a habit of using a mobile phone. So sometimes you'll fall asleep as soon as possible, like listening to songs, that kind of thing. So during that matter, so somatostatin hormones will inhibit the releasing of to reduce the sleep of growth hormone. If we are tired, we'll fall asleep. What happens if a sleep reduces? The secretion of same thing, reduce growth hormone secretion and testosterone and prolactin. It leads to a poor recovery and poor anti-inflammatory process. Our physiological system remains with cortisol and catecholamines. And during that period, if training load increases, athlete is prone to injury. So this is the model. And then what happens after the training? So I'm going to talk about this part. So this is part which I was talking about. So initially we give a stress that is called the alarm stage. Our body is experienced with this stress, like hormones, catecholamines and cortisol. So after that, our body start to resist with that. So it started to adapt, and later, if we sleep well or if we get to good recover, we can see our improvement in our performance. So but it doesn't happen within a day, but how they are going to for a next day training. So sleep is very important thing. If we are not sleeping, or there is a many cause, but I'm just telling about how sleep is very important. So if you are not adapted or recovered well, so athletes go into a overtraining phase. They will be keep on stressing because they won't be very active, or they won't say to the coach, so I never sleep, or I slept well, those things. But as physios, if we are working in a residential club, we have to take care of each and athlete. We have to know what they are experiencing from. So if we work on hand, so we can know, we can prevent some other problems as soon as possible. And then if the overtraining occurs, the result will be more consequences. So players won't get a proper performance increment. At the time they will be scared again. The problem will arise from the first slide. So they keep on thinking that my performance is not improving, I'm getting injured, what is happening? Because in the team sport, there is a each position has a supported by more than 3 players. If a midfielder is there, another 3 midfielder is waiting when you get out from the when I get a chance. So players will be very scared of that position play. So this is the thing. And what research says, sleep recommendation and the strategies. Athlete who had slept less than 7 hours, they are increased 1.7 times of injury risk. And then athlete who had slept more 8 hours, so there is a injury reduction. Injury risk has been reduced by 61%. So how many guys? How you guys will sleep from today onwards? You have to sleep a lot, at least 7 to 8 hours. So sleep is must. And then final thing is take home message. Listen to an athlete, just not only training perspective, what they are psychologically or what they have been thinking, how they are feeling about the training and personal everything. So that will be very helpful for us, those who have worked with an athlete. And then education also very important. So we have been studied about physiology, anatomy, everything. So we have to educate coaches also, then we'll gain some respect. So then only they will listen to us what we are trying to do. So this kind of activities may leads to a better outcome. And then always stick with an training principles, like avoid the overload, avoid reversibility. So after giving that stimulus, we don't, after 20 days if we give a same stimulus, our athlete is going to add a stress. So it should be periodically, so every 48 hours. So I got a training program for weekly 7 days, 7 sessions, not a 7 days, 7 sessions. So it will be 48 hours gap. So it will be cycling. So and then I have been periodized. So what I'm going to do and what we are going to get from an due to this kind of training, I'll be educating coaches and athletes. So before that, we have to be well known. We have to practice those kind of training, and then individualization is very important, and specificity also we have to focus on it, and then don't forget about the physiology. So overall we need to improve means we need a communication. So we have to talk. So we should not sit like a boss. We have to lead everyone. We have to guide and educate. So how much we are communicating, the more we can uh, knowledge transition will happen. That's all. Thank you. Any doubts? இல்ல அது மட்டும் ஒரு காரணம் இல்லைன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. அதுவும் ஒரு காரணம், பட் நிறையாவும். ப்ரோ ஸோ இப்போ ஈவினிங் டைமில் ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணுறோம். ஸோ அடுத்த நாள் மார்னிங் ட்ரைனிங் பண்ணணும் இல்லையா? ஸோ மார்னிங் டைம் ட்ரைனிங் வந்து 5 மணிக்கு இருந்தால் ஈவினிங் 7 மணி 10 மணிக்கு தூங்கினா நம்மளுக்கு தூங்குற டைம் டிஸ்டர்ப் ஆகும். அவங்க எந்த டைமில் தூங்குறாங்க வி டோன்ட் நோ. ஸோ அதை மானிட்டர் பண்ணோன்னா கேமரா வைக்கணும். பட்